Okay, here's the B part of Beaumont rag, and it's basically based on what some people refer to as cross-picking, and all that means is cross-picking was something probably George Shuffler and Jesse McReynolds developed, Jesse on the mandolin, George on the guitar. George's version was a bit based on the Carter family style, where he'd play the melody notes on the bass strings and keep a roll going. I'll put a little explanation of this, how the different patterns in that work. How I've arranged this version of Beaumont rag is with a constant down-up motion, mainly to make sure your timing's right, and we want to keep your hand moving in a constant motion for the time being. If you're a bit more advanced, please feel free to use any pattern you wish, the down-down-up or down-up-up, or whatever suits your style. I will explain why the constant down-up pattern is very useful in this little demonstration. So we'll just get right into it. Okay, it starts on the A string, a couple of little lead-in notes, and then into the roll. That might not be exactly the same as the tablature, but the main thing, it's got this nice flow. Now what happens is the melody's on the G string there. And what I'm trying to do is get a nice swingy feel to this way of playing it. For example, let's see Brian Sutton or Doc Watson playing Beaumont rag. It provides a more swingy sort of feel to it. Now, as my hand goes through the pattern, down, up, down, up. The melody note is on the G string, and it falls on a down sometimes and an up same time. So what I've got to try and do is make sure my attack and the accent on that string is very similar, because I'm trying to force the melody out on that line. So I'm overemphasizing that. I'm showing you the melody line there. Da, da, oh. So I'm making them notes jump out to create a nice flow in it. And then you sort of come back into these little patterns. That little C there on the second last line there, the last two bars. Just a bit more movement in the line. I've just added an extra note in, and I've got my third finger on this third fret of the A string, or the fifth string, and my second finger on the second fret of the fourth string, so I can get the other notes with my second finger and my little finger. The last line there. pretty straightforward if you follow the tablature. But the main thing is sit there and make sure your roll's nice and even. To get the idea of the swingy feel to it, you can think of In the Mood. Sister, what you calling, what you doing tonight? Da 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 da. That'll give you an idea of what I'm trying to imitate here. It's not George Shuffler picking, I understand that, but what it's useful for is things like this. We can change the line I'm using it on, so that original intro to the cross-picking section here. So what's going on there is I'm changing the actual line where I've got the melody, so I call it sort of a rolling, cascading thing with some slides and stuff, where I want to get this nice bass line running around. Then I move it onto the high string. So at the start here, so all the bass is on that G string there. Then I move up to a C shape here, like holding an F chord in a C position, and I move the melody onto the high string. Then I move it onto the B string. It's hard to do at slow tempo. Yeah. And you run out of frets, and I usually play this on a cutaway guitar, but what I've done is I've moved the melody into a different place. So you can see I'm not having to change patterns constantly to get the new melody lines. You can use a down, down, up constantly there to do this. If you're good at it, it may be easier, I don't know, so it's up to you. There I did a little bit of a down, down, up pattern, but yeah. Okay, the chords for Beaumont Rag, we've got the capo on the 2nd fret, it's in the key of C with the capo on, and the first chord's a G chord. So we've got sort of C and it goes da 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 G C7, F sharp, C with a G bass, A7, D7, G, C. So and the A part and the B part are the same. The second part's cross-picked, but the chords are exactly the same. So the only difficult bit might be that last run. So we've got an F chord, da, da, F sharp diminished. See that? I've got it's sort of like a D chord there, which I flatten that out though. I got my 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the E string, and my 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then to a C chord, and I hold down the 3rd fret on the 6th string too. So C with a G bass, A7, D7, G7, C. Da, 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 Alright, the only other thing to know about that is that in the cross-picking section, it goes, it's got a stop chord in it. So that's pretty much Beaumont rag. Yeah, usually the stop chord only appears in the B part, and it's just played through A B A B. Something you can do extra on that. What I like to do is get a rhythm going and think the tunes in my head. Da, 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 da. So that's a couple of ideas there, some bass runs there.